Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Charred Tomato Soup. What we're making today is a fairly straightforward tomato soup, except that it has one remarkable thing about it that makes the soup exceptional, and that's that we are going to be charring the tomatoes, charring the veggies, some peppers, some onions, all of that stuff directly on the coals inside the Kamado Joe, Big Joe. So I'm gonna start with a nice big bed of charcoal and get it fired up using the electrolyte. The electrolyte essentially does the same thing as like a paraffin cube or a fire starter like that, except it does it much faster and there's no chemicals or anything that's left behind. These coals are white hot, so we're gonna start by throwing down our 3 pounds of tomatoes. You can also get some Anaheim peppers down in here. Already getting some nice char on there. And that's what we're looking to do really, is just get a lot of char color on here. These peppers, we're gonna blacken all the surfaces so that we can steam them and get the skins off of them for our nice fire roasted pepper. We're getting there, not all the way blackened on those yet, but you can see how the skin already starting to come off in those blackened spots. We're also gonna get some char on these carrots. So I'm just gonna start placing them around the perimeter here. Want to get some color on those, starting to soften them up just a little bit. No need to peel these because you're gonna burn that outer layer anyway, and we're gonna rinse them afterward. These peppers are done, so we're gonna throw them into a Ziploc bag to steam. We'll just seal those up and let them steam for about 15 minutes. And as we make some room in here, we're also gonna throw down a little bit of yellow onion. And that's a really nice looking charred tomato. That one's done. And these onions, we're not looking to really cook them. What we're trying to do is get that char on the outside. We'll dice these up after they've been charred, and it's just gonna add extra depth of flavor to the soup. All right, we've got this pile of beautifully charred vegetables, and the next step is really just to get these prepared for the soup. See, we can't just throw them in here like this. You don't wanna end up chewing on some charcoal. So what I wanna do is get some cold water running gently and just work my way around the edges. So we want to keep the char flavor, but we don't want any char to chew on. Just a gentle rinse under cool water. Now we can cook our soup right here on the Joe, but what I want to do is concentrate these coals in the center so we can get our Lodge Dutch oven on here, soaks up all that heat from the center. And we'll throw our grates down low on the divide and conquer system so we can soak up as much heat as possible. I'm gonna place the Lodge Dutch oven right in the center here, and then we're gonna choke this down so it's not too incredibly hot. All right, so now we've got the caveman style grilled veggies all rinsed off, got rid of any little hard bits. Now the tomatoes themselves we're going to puree for the soup, but the carrots, the onions, that's gonna be our texture in the soup, so we're gonna dice those. So this is where these two split ways. So we're gonna throw the tomatoes here in the Vitamix A2500. We'll blitz these up for our tomato puree that's gonna be full of flavor from the extra char we've added. The Vitamix makes really quick work of this, obviously. I'm stoked that we're carrying these in the store now because we get to use them on all of our sauces, all of our soups. So you're gonna see a lot more of this to come. All right, now we're gonna do our best just to give a nice chop on our onions. Be very careful when you're doing this though, because these are slippery now and you don't wanna cut yourself. Make sure you're working with a really sharp knife. And do your best to get your dice as even as possible. And obviously this is a rustic soup, so don't spend too much time worrying about how pretty these items look. This is intended to be a rustic dish. Look at the beautiful color on those red carrots. We're also going to finish our peppers here. You can kind of take the tops off of those, split them open. We'll lose the seeds, and we'll lose the skin. We're gonna put down a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the Dutch oven. Get our onions and carrots in here. Now obviously these onions and carrots, they're not raw, they've been over the fire, over the charcoal, but they're not fully cooked either, so we wanna give these a little time to get tender. Oh yeah, with the grill riding right around 400 degrees, these are cooking proper. I'd like these carrots to be just a little bit more tender, so we're gonna let this ride a few more minutes. All right, these are looking great. Smells amazing. At this point, we're ready to add in a couple tablespoons of minced garlic, as well as our fire roasted peppers that we've diced up. And we'll just give those a few minutes to let that garlic really open up, become aromatic, and start to soften. All right, let's get some seasoning in here. We're gonna use the Cattleman's Grill tri-tip seasoning, a couple tablespoons, lots of nice savory notes in here, garlic, onion, black pepper, even red bell pepper. And then we'll get our pureed tomatoes and some veggie stock in here. 1 quart of veggie stock should do it. Now we just want to give everybody a chance to get together and get to know each other, so we're going to close the lid on this, let it do its work for about 15-20 minutes. This soup's been simmering away for about 20 minutes now, all those flavors getting to know one another. At this point, I want to finish this thing off with a few last ingredients, then we'll wait a few minutes to see what those flavors turn into, have a taste, and see if we need any last seasonings before we plate this thing up. This smells fantastic right now. These last few things that we're going to throw in here to help really finish this off though. We've got a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, about a 1/4 cup of minced basil, and a 1/2 cup of Parmesan. So like I said, I want those to work with everything else that's going on before I taste this, and then we can adjust the salt level as needed. Oh, that smells amazing. Big tomato soup aroma. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect out of a charred tomato soup. So I'm just gonna have a taste and see how the salt level is. Really nice. Smoky, incredible depth of flavor, but it could use just a touch more salt. All right, hit it with just a little bit of our pecan smoked salt. I just love that you can see the flecks of char in there. You know you're going to have that smoky flavor, and it's just that dark, rich red color. Of course, since we left those carrots and those onions a little bit chunky, we've got great texture in here. You know, there's one thing that I want to finish this off with. It's always great if you can have a nice garnish to finish. What we've done here is cut some prosciutto into strips, fried it up in some olive oil. So it's crunchy, it's salty, and it's just a great finishing touch. That prosciutto, perfect finishing touch, just for the change up in texture. And It's such a rich soup. The saltiness is really nice to go with it. I mean, this is perfect cold weather food. Fantastic tomato soup with a depth of flavor you'll never know without charring those veggies first. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all of the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the video, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below. And hey, let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to thesauce.atbbq.com. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.